Hey guys, in this session I'm going to teach you how to play the rhythm guitar parts for Believe by the Bravery. Now this is of course the guitar played by Sam Endicott, the lead singer, and it consists mainly of power chords, and there's actually some parts where he doesn't play anything at all, so it's pretty simple compared to stuff like the solo and the bass. So the first thing that we're going to have to talk about here is the way I play power chords. A lot of people will pinch off the strings with their fourth finger, and then they'll grab the bottom string with their second. But I tend to use my fourth and fifth fingers on the upper two strings and then my second finger on the bottom one, which, you know, it's personal choice really, and I don't think there's any proper way to play them. And I like to get my pinky involved, because if you don't, you're going to end up, like when you're learning guitar, and if you don't use your pinky, you're going to end up never using it. So I play power chords like this, but if you see me doing that, I'm just, you know, playing a standard power chord. So 3 strings, 1 here, and then the 2 above it, and 2 frets down. So if you don't know power chords, you better learn it, because that's like the foundation of rock music. Anyway, the power chords that we're going to be doing for pretty much the whole song take place on the 6th and 8th frets, and then also on the 4th and 6th frets. But there's also some up on the 8th and 10th. So I'll just do it in the order they come. First of all, I have my guitar settings on the middle pickup. I have about 2.5 gain out of 10. And then a lot of mid-range and no bass and just a tad of treble and a little bit of reverb. So, but the thing is that there's a lot of mid-range and no bass and very little treble, because that's how, if you hear this guy playing in concert, that's generally how he has his guitar set up. So you're going to have a tone like this, which is a good tone for the rhythm guitar. You don't want it to be too sharp and piercing and overriding. But anyway, the song starts off obviously with just the bass intro. And then the first power chord you're going to play is the 6th and 8th frets on the bottom 3 strings. I'm having some speech difficulties here. Anyway, and they're played rapidly. Now you can play it however you want. I mean, I guess you can play the whole song however you want, but in concerts I think sometimes he plays this as quarter notes, or with a quarter note in between, and then during the album though he plays it with 8th notes. So basically, start of the song, it's going to go from the 6th and 8th frets, bottom 3 strings, it's going to go up to the 8th and 10th frets, next 3 strings up, and you're never going to go higher than that. And then the 4th and 6th frets, bottom 3 strings, and then 6th and 8th frets, 3 up, and that's, or I mean 1 up. And that sounded like a bunch of numbers and confusion, but once you start playing it, it's pretty easy. So the song starts off, of course, notice that I did that twice, which, you know, the song does, but you're going to do that same thing at the start of the second verse, and it only does it once then. Once you're in the verse, it's pretty simple. It's just these sharp notes. They're upstroke notes, and they take place entirely on the 4th, 6th, and 8th frets. So you're going to start off here, and notice the upstroke. Then you're going to go up here. Now, when I do these, I like to use my 4th and 2nd fingers, like I was saying a lot of people do, because I can grab all 3 of these strings, and it makes the major chord. So as opposed to just, I didn't do anything, as opposed to just this, or of course the minor chord, you know, you don't want the minor chord here, you want the major. So I think reverb is a little bit too much. That's the progression that you're going to play during the verse, and it's actually the same progression as the chorus, but in the chorus I use downstrokes, and I, you know, repeated, not just little short choppy ones. But that's how he plays it in the album. And in concerts, it sounds like in concerts, the ones that I've heard distinctly, he actually only kind of hits the top 2 strings. So instead of the full, it's like, well, that was just the top 1 string, but you get the point, you know, just not the whole chord. But again, it's personal preference. I'm just kind of pointing out different things that I've seen in concerts and on the album and stuff. So anyway, the verse consists basically of that. Just, well, I think it's boring really, but I mean, with the other stuff going on, it's just like several times. And I think I've covered that clearly now. Once you get to the chorus, it's the same chords, but you're going to do them downstrokes and repeat it. So, and oh, on the album he does this also like the intro with the rapid strokes, and then some of the early concerts where they were performing, or where they were previewing the album and like trying to play it exactly like on the album, and people even comment, wow, he strokes the guitar so fast. But in later concerts, he kind of just slows it down, and it actually sounds better slowed down. So hear what I mean when I do the chorus. Now, like I was saying, on the album, he's like... That was obviously exaggerated because the song's not played that fast. But anyway, the slower, to me, sounds more firm, and I don't know, it just sounds better. Anyway, so that's what you're going to do for the chorus. Now, let's see. The intro I showed you, then there's the first verse, which is long, and it's twice as long as the second verse. Then there's the chorus, then there's the intro part again, but only once. So after the chorus... Yeah, that again to the verse, then the second chorus. Then there's the solo. Now, I've already covered the solo in detail in other videos, or one other video specifically. But once he leaves the chorus, then it's just, you know... Notice that I play that fast, and he actually plays that fast in the concerts too, even when he's playing the chorus slow. So it just kind of sounds good, blended together fast with Zacharin's soloing. So that's what's going on there. Then when the bridge takes place, he stops playing, grabs the mic, does this whole little theatrical thing, and doesn't actually play anything. So you can totally just stop playing there. And then the outro is just the chorus over and over. So... And the song ends on this note, which is the song, you know, it started on after the intro with the bass, you know. It's gonna be your closing note. You can hold it for like 5 minutes if you have the amp turned up loud enough. But anyway, that's basically all there is to it. So since this video has been really short and easy, I will play a little bit of the song, and you can hear how it sounds. And why don't I start with the end of the first chorus, so that you can then hear the verse, or the intro, the verse, the chorus, the solo, and all that good stuff. I don't need to sit here and stare at the camera while the bridge plays. But anyway, that's basically all there is to it. So, you know, a brief review, because I did go over that rather quickly, I feel, and I don't want there to be confusion, because some people who make tutorials don't make them very well, and they're just like, play it like this, and then they just do it really fast, and they're like, no, now you've learned it, and I'm like, no, I didn't. So anyway, starting off, 6th and 8th frets, bottom 3 strings, and then 8th and 10th, the next 3 string, or the next, yeah, I'm having trouble saying this, the 3 strings above the bottom string, so, then 4th and 6th frets, bottom 3, 6th and 8th frets, next 3, and then the rest of the song basically is just, you can do that up here too, you can be like, but I find it harder to go all the way up and down than I do to just go like this. So just basically it just walks around, and it's really not that hard at all. So anyway, that should wrap it up for the rhythm guitar portion of the song.